A ver, ok. Muy bien, muy bien. Y buenos días, buenos días. ¿Cómo están
Buenos días.
todos?
Bien,
¿Están
sí,
bien?
también.
Está bien.
Excelente, excelente. Muy bien. Bueno, vamos a practicar. Hoy voy a tomar sus preguntas. I'm going to take your questions. I hope you have some questions about the video items that we had for listening. And I do want to start class with a quick question. And I've got to get my little adjustments here so that I make sure everybody can see my screen when I put it up on share. A ver, bien, sí. Ok, bien. Ah, eso de la semana pasada, this thing about, that thing about last week. Uh, um, all of our adjective work that we did last week. I just want to know, whether it's adding on extra adjectives or whether it's a question of, I actually added on the extra slides here from that thing last week since people had questions about adjective forms. Or this thing about ser and estar. I just want to know that I want to see if you guys have any questions about that, questions that came up as you looked at it this week or reviewed it maybe, or if that's all good and we can look to some other stuff. ¿Sí o no? ¿Sí o no?
I find it all that's very confusing to me. Always has been.
The ser estar?
Always has been. Yeah.
Okay. Um,
Yeah.
okay.
I think it's,
Um,
and part of that, I think, which I just grabbed on today is um, with soy, eres, es, and estar, they start with E as well.
well,
I think that's killer.
yeah. Well, ser, just like be, to be in English. The to be verbs in a lot of languages are like the first verbs you learn in in a language, and they're always oddballs. They're always
Hmm.
irregular things. You know, to be becomes am. How do you get from be to am? Right? Am is are, and is are am. None of those look like be. So the to be verbs, when you look at a lot of different languages, wind up being very tricky, even though we have to, it's like a big hump we have to get over. And you're right. Yeah. Ser, soy, but then eres, starting with an e, the e, letter E, es, son, with somos, okay, but yeah, why? Nobody knows. But when to use the forms, just keeping those conjugations straight can be a job. And then the second job with ser y estar is knowing that uh, they really carry different meanings. So for how you feel and where you are, always use the verb estar. You know, how you feel, whether it's physical health feel or whether it's emotional, mental feel, it's estar. And then you can kind of know everything else is ser. But everything else is ser usually winds up being that ser carries this heavy, heavy connotation of identity, the essence of what something is. So here's a real common trap that people get into. I am interested. And a lot of people will tend to say, soy interesado, and that sounds off weird, okay? Because interested is how I feel. It's a mental thing,
Mhm.
but it's how I feel. So,
Mhm.
estoy interesado, right?
Mhm.
Soy aburrido means I'm a boring person. Aburrido, boredom is what I am. People don't want to be, well, maybe people would want to be around me, but soy aburrida, it makes sense grammatically, but people would kind of be looking at you like, why are you telling me I'm a boring person? I mean, unless you're a therapist working through, somebody's deep-seated feelings of inadequacy, people aren't going to say, soy aburrida or soy aburrido, right? Estoy aburrida. I am bored. Bored is a mental thing, but it is a feeling nonetheless. So for how you feel and where you are, always use the verb estar. And where we get tripped up is the little in-between things where we're not sure about that permanent or temporary. And, even the permanent thing is kind of tricky because we kind of we tag things in our brain with English, and we thinking things are permanent when they're really not in the Spanish speaking mind. So that's something you just kind of need to get. You need to hear a lot of examples, and I have a very good set of examples where it gets repeated,
Mhm.
not consciously as a lesson on Ser Estar, but as super good examples of ser and estar, to show how it's used. And so, yeah, it can
So
be
Marilyn,
super tricky.
Sam,
See, Sam.
are we going to review the beach video that you gave us? Are we going to
Yes,
review
we
the
are.
beach?
We're going to review the two videos. I'm going to show you something we're going to work on today from the
Okay.
one from the week before and the beach video. Eso, sí.
Because I have a question about when she was on the beach. She pointed to a cement lounging bench,
Mhm.
and
Okay.
she used a star instead of the
Okay.
other
Well,
the other one. And I think it's because she was pointing to the object and it was in the current thing and it wasn't a fixed place. So we'll go over that and you'll explain that to me.
okay. Yeah, we
Mhm.
will go through all of that. Any questions you might have about that? Sí,
Mhm.
eso.
Okay.
Bien. Okay. Um, the big idea, I'm gonna show you a thumbnail kind of picture, a screenshot kind of picture from the week before. We never got to the airport video, so I want to tackle that first because there are a few things I want to take out this week and show you how these are used because it's a little word, but it's a little word that can cause some problems. And we want to get to the point where it doesn't cause you a problem. Um, Bien, okay. That one.
Mm.
The video from the week before. We did not get time last week to really look through this, and it's got the English translations, uh, but they kind of did a little okay. We want to look at this little word lo today. This little word lo. Uh, lo is lo can have some slightly different meanings. My first gut reaction, if somebody said, "What does lo mean?" Is that it would mean it, but sometimes it doesn't really strictly mean it. Okay, so this little video had a number of places where they use lo in a specific context, and we kind of want to look for how you listen for that because it tends to come up quite a lot, that little word lo. And one is that we're going to take this as a two-word chunk, lo que, all right? So that's one way we use lo. Uh, there is I don't know if I'm going to get to the exact right thing, but there are,
Yeah.
and by the way, lo can sometimes, when it means it, when it does mean it can sometimes shift into the word la, right? If lo means it might be lo, it might be la. And as you can probably guess, the lo would be a masculine it, and the la would be a feminine it. Okay? La hago, I do it, but it would have to be like a feminine thing. Bien. So we want to look at that. Oh, I don't know if I'm going to get the exact right thing. Sometimes we pair up lo can change its meaning and it won't mean it when it's lo que.
Good.
Uh,
Go back. You went by it.
There was
que
Go
exagera.
back.
La preparo. Yeah, I
No.
prepare it.
No,
I think they were talking about suitcases. Oh, this one right here?
no, there was actually a locate.
it was like the second half of a
Oh,
sentence.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sí. Bien.
There.
Ah. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, sometimes something like
Yeah.
this. Lo de, it might be a lo de instead of a lo que. And notice lo de is paired up with ir. Lo de ir al último minuto, or you might hear that as al último minuto, the last minute thing. That thing of going at the last minute. But you know, if your brain wants to translate every word like that, it will come out sounding kind of funny in English. Okay. But the lo can carry with it specific meaning. And this lo que, all right, when it's a lo que, es lo que mejor funciona. It's what works best. Okay, es lo que, it is that which works best. But nobody says that in English because that sounds stilted and really like super formal and just kind of an odd way of phrasing it. Yeah, would somebody understand you? Sure, they would. But es lo que mejor funciona. It's what? Lo que, when it's that two-word combination will mean what. So we're going to take a look at that in just a bit. Did anybody have a question on that video specifically? Because it had the translation, so I thought, okay, that's going to make sense mostly.
Mhm.
In?
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
Okay. Because that had a lot of good examples of little ways that lo was used, but in different ways, I want to take a look at what does lo mean? Okay. Bien. Can everybody see my screen on what does lo mean? Sí?
Yes.
Bien? Okay.
Sí.
Momentito. Quick moment. I've got to switch something else out here and go back. Vale. Okay. What does lo mean? Well, it kind of depends on the context and the kind of word you combine it with. And it usually, when we combine it with, it means whatever word comes after lo will help determine what's going to happen with that. Okay, lo que. That two-word combo, lo que, will mean what when it does not start a question. So if you want to say, what is this? It's not lo que. What is this? ¿Qué es esto? Right? What are you doing? ¿Qué haces? That what leads off a question. Yeah. That what is an interrogative word. It is a question word. So the what as a question, part of question, is just que. But sometimes lo que can mean what when it doesn't start off a question. And lo que essentially is what we would say in English as the thing that, okay, or the word what. Yeah. It'll be what, but not as a question. So, ok, entonces, lo que importa es dormir bien. What matters, the thing that, the thing that matters, or what matters. Lo que importa es dormir bien. That is not a what with a question mark at the end. Yeah. And we need a lo que. And in many cases, it'll lead off, but it can come in the middle of a sentence as well. Lo que me sorprende es el precio. What surprises me is the price. It's not what is the price, yeah? But it is what surprises me is the price, see? Or something like this, where lo que could get buried in the middle of a sentence instead of leading it off. El calor es lo que me gusta menos del verano. The heat is what I like the least about the summer. El calor es lo que. The heat is what I don't like about summer, or what I like the least. El calor es lo que. So lo que there, lo isn't really, it's not functioning as lo. Oh, I am a masculine word. It is kind of a neutro, a neuter, because it's just referring to what as a vague abstract. Okay? Lo can also be it when it is a very abstract thing, and lo que always does not stand in for a concrete item like a cup or a piece of paper or a phone. Okay. Bien. Otro ejemplo. Lo que tienes que hacer primero es reservar tu vuelo. What you have to do first is reserve your flight. The thing that you have to do. What you have to do. Lo que tienes que hacer. And that lo que, what you have to do is referring to an action. So again, it's neutro. It's not really masculine. El calor es lo que. The heat is what? The thing that. Lo que me sorprende, what surprises me. Something or some activity or some abstract thing is what surprises me. So it's not really attached to a gender-driven idea, this lo que. Y por fin aquí, tener una buena cocina, having a good kitchen, tener una buena cocina es lo que me gusta más de este Airbnb. Having a good kitchen is what I like most about this Airbnb. So all of these whats are not asking a question. They are whats that indicate the thing that. Okay. Bien. Es lógico, ¿sí o no?
One question.
Sí.
If el calor had been a feminine, would it then be la que?
No. Qué buena pregunta. No, it would not. You do sometimes hear la que, but they'll be in very long sentences you're more likely to read than to hear, if that makes sense. No, if el calor were something else,
Something, yeah,
or
something from there.
yeah, it would still be lo que. It is what I blah blah blah. Yeah, it's very neutro. It's very neutral.
Okay.
It's very neutral. Es buena pregunta. That's a good question. I like that you guys come up with questions because there are often things that I maybe am not thinking about. Okay, vale. But that is not only not the only way you may hear lo. Okay, we're going to do the next one. Lo que is a two-word phrase, so it's a chunk. And this is also a chunk, but it'll be lo combined with an adjective, lo combined with a descriptive word. Okay, so it can't be lo perro, the dog. It can't be that, right? El perro. It can't be lo combined with a noun. It's got to be lo combined with a description. And that will wind up being, in English, what we would use to say the descriptive thing. Or sometimes it might mean how, kind of as an exclamation, I guess. Yeah. Okay, so here's a description. Difícil, difficult, hard, right? And when I make it lo difícil, again, it's going to be a neutro. It is not, it won't be la difícil ever. This is a neutral thing, and it's saying the difficult thing. So that's not really, it's an abstract. It's always talking about an abstract. The difficult aspect, the difficult issue, the difficult thing. The way we're going to say that in English is the word thing. Lo difícil de estudiar español es la gramática. The hard thing about studying Spanish is grammar, somebody might say. See, lo difícil, the hard thing, the difficult thing, right? And thing is very vague, isn't it? It's an abstract. And that's why this word lo isn't really subbing in there as a masculine peg. It is lo is being used in its abstract neutral form. Lo interesante de esta ruta es la naturaleza. The interesting thing about this route or this route is nature, is the landscape, yeah, right? Well, the stuff in nature that's around you, la naturaleza. Lo interesante, the interesting thing. It is very abstract. It just means the whole of the land, the air, whatever is in the background, all of that. Here we've got another one, but it's not leading off the sentence. It's buried in the middle. And this word sabía is from saber, to know, and it's just a past of knowing, right? No sabía lo hermoso que es esta montaña. I didn't know how beautiful this mountain is. Oh, I never, I just got to this vacation place, no sabía lo hermoso. I didn't know how beautiful or the beautiful thing that is this whole mountain area. Lo hermoso, okay? And sometimes it'll be that lo de. You have this in the video, lo de ir al último minuto, the last minute thing, that thing of going at the last minute. Yeah. Lo de ir, the last minute thing about going. And that's why the ir is in there, because what the context of that was, that thing of going at the last minute, that was what one of the two gals does. One is an early bird at the airport. One is a get there at the last possible minute. Okay. So lo de, because it was combined with a little verb here. See, we don't have any verb here. We don't have any verb here. We've just got a description. And really, it can be almost any, it can be any kind of description. It might be anything. It's pretty wide open. Okay, bien. So that was another little lo thing they used. ¿Alguna pregunta? Any question about that? Or no? No? Okay. We're leaving maybe the harder one, and it's only harder really because now the word order is going to be kind of a tough thing for English, because the word order won't be what you would expect it to be in English. It's not what you're used to. This is the last thing we're going to use for lo. Lo, when it's in front of a verb. So again, this is all, what does lo mean? Lo, what it means depends on the other words it's combined with. But lo in front of a verb is going to be very different from lo que or lo with an adjective, with a description, right? Lo in front of a verb, in most cases, is going to mean it. And it might refer to a situation, which you can't really peg as masculine or feminine. Or it might refer to a human being, a person, or it might refer to a thing, which has to be in that case a masculine thing. But in all those cases, whether it means something abstract, a situation, whether it means a human being who is a male, whether it means a thing, which is a masculine gendered noun, it is receiving the verb's action. The hard part of, well, okay, and if it's not a masculine, if it's a woman who is the person, if it is a feminine gendered thing, meaning it, then lo will change into the word la. Okay, so this is where lo is not the only option, right? Lo que, that's the only option you've got. Lo difícil, lo interesante, lo aburrido, lo lo importante, the important thing, all of those have to be lo. But if it specifically means the word it, that's where it may morph into the word la. All right. So the hard part is that in this case, and I've got a lot of text here, I'm going to try to make this just a little bit bigger. Mejor, mejor, better, 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 mucho mejor. Okay. Here, our other challenge is that the word it takes a different word order place in English. So you have to change your way of thinking to speak using it naturally, right? Lo hago todos los días. Notice in English, the word order is subject, who's doing it, I, do, which is the action, and then it. But in Spanish, the word order is it, I do. And that is the hard thing for us as English speakers because that word order is completely unnatural. And your brain wants to put things in the order it is used to. Your brain will just do that. And, if you say, well, that's hard for me to think of it that way. Well, okay, then you're normal because that is the way your brain has always dealt with the word order. And when you've got to drastically switch that word order, it becomes a bump, a definite speed bump that you have to get over to use it naturally. And I think, wow, the way I did it when I was a teenager was I switched the way I thought it, I do. Yeah. But maybe that won't work for you. I don't know. But lo hago todos los días. Lo veo cada sábado. It could mean I see him or I see it. There we need some context. And for these articles, things that receive the action, they don't do the action. They are on the receiving end of the action of veo, right? Veo, the person doing the action is yo. We just don't say the word yo in most cases, right? But so it usually becomes lo veo. It could be yo lo veo, but most people will omit the word yo. Lo veo cada sábado. I see him, or it could be I see it every Saturday, right? Lo could mean a show if you see a show every Saturday, depende, right? This word out of context, lo veo, could mean I see it, I see him. We don't have that previous part of the conversation to figure out whether it's referring to a person or a thing. Aquí siempre lo tengo conmigo cuando viajo. I always have it with me when I travel. Well, what is it? I don't know. That was somewhere in the earlier part of the conversation, right? Siempre lo tengo. That could be siempre la tengo. Siempre la tengo. It could be la if the thing I have is a feminine thing, like maleta, suitcase. Yeah? Bien. Okay. Vale. So it stands for a thing or a person as masculine gender. If the it item or person is a feminine, then it will need the la instead. So, por ejemplo, La llamo más tarde. I'll call her later. Her, I'll call. That's the word order. Her, I'll call. La llamo más tarde. I'll call her later. If I'm going to call a guy, it becomes lo llamo más tarde. Bien? Yeah. And here I've got a little bit of context. Somebody says, oh, the ticket, la entrada, la compro antes del concierto. The ticket, I'll buy it before the concert. La compro. It I'll buy. All right. So lo in this case could have to do the flip flop and become la, right? Could be plural, los or las. But those are this is when we can say that lo is a direct object, and that means it isn't doing anything. It's on the receiving end of the action word, which is the verb. And in most cases, it will be, if it's a statement of fact, in front. Those little words can sometimes get attached to the verbs, sometimes not. So that is kind of a more complicated issue, but we just want to kind of touch on what do all those lo, or, what can lo mean? Lo can mean many different things. Bien, okay, vale?
Vale.
I will send that file in the email after, so you don't need to take a lot of notes off of it. Okay. A ver. Bien. Let's get to the video that Sam wanted me to have a question on. And Sam, I hope I can get to the right part. We want to see, this was just for your listening pleasure. And you know what? I think I'm going to take my closed captions off because this, again, they have it down here. And wow, you said when she was at the beach and looking at
In the second half. It's in the second half of the film.
somewhere around here or further down?
Way further
Further
down.
down.
Further down.
There.
Around here?
No, keep going.
Ba, 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 ba. Oh, I think
This
she's
is-
gesturing somewhere here. About halfway through, is that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ya. Y por fin llegamos a la playa. El
finally we
sol
got to
está
the beach.
deli. No puedo esperar a tumbarme y a broncearme un poco.
And
No
no,
puedo
she had
esperar.
a cute
Seguito a
little
la playa. Y por fin llegamos a la playa. El sol está deli.
Oh, el sol está deli. Wow, what the heck is deli? It is not where you get in line and take a ticket. This is a very slangy thing. Está deli, and that is short for delicioso. The sun is delicious. Well, you would say it's fabulous, great. This is just, yeah, it's just an affectionate, cute way of saying, oh, I love the sun. I love the sun. El sol está. And notice está. It feels this way being
Right.
here. Yeah. So here she uses está because sometimes the sun might beat on you so hot you curse it. Sometimes it's a wonderful warm feeling that wraps around you, and it's how you feel about it's the feeling the sun is creating for all of the vacationers.
No puedo esperar a tumbarme
I can't wait to lie down. Tumbarme is to lay down on the sand in this case.
y a broncearme un poco.
And sunbathe a little. Broncearme is to get tan. Yeah, broncearme. And that me on the end is receiving the action. In this case, it's a reflexive. I bronze parts of my body. I bronze my skin.
Quiero mostrarte lo que
Oh, here's a loque. Oh, this pops up all the
Loque,
time.
yeah.
Quiero mostrarle lo que traigo a la playa. I want to show you what I bring. Loque, the thing that. But we wouldn't say it sounds stilted. I want to show you that which I bring. Nobody talks that way in English, right? I want to show you what. meaning the thing that, lo que traigo a la playa. And mostrarte, I want to show you. You're not showing. I want to show something to you. So the te is a to you, not the person who's doing the action.
Traigo a la playa. En mi bolsa hay una toalla, obviamente, para ir al mar.
And all easy. There is a towel. She's just talking about what exists. It exists, right? It's not. If I want to say the towel is on the beach, then I'm talking, or the towel is on the sand. Yeah, then I would want to use la toalla está en la arena. La toalla está en la arena. It is on the sand, but now she's just saying, well, here's a towel and throwing it out. It just exists, right?
Un abanico.
Abanico, fan.
Un muy buen libro. Tu vestido de baño. Bikini. Este es un enterizo. O para los chicos, una pantaloneta de baño. Cremas solares o bloqueador. Hay que tener rutina de cremas para la cara.
And there, that I is not like hay una toalla, there's a towel. Hay que, one must. Hay que is another chunk, just like lo que is a chunk. Hay que means one has to, any old Tom, Dick, or Harry. Okay, when you want to talk about any person in general having to do something, right? It's an obligation idea. It becomes hay que, right? And it's not conjugated for any like you or you guys or the kids. It's just hay que, one has to.
Tus gafas de sol.
And in South America, many places will use tus lentes instead of gafas. Lentes, L-E-N-T-E-S, lentes. People use different words for those.
Y unos audífonos para escuchar tu podcast favorito de Easy Spanish. ¿Y tú? ¿Eres más de traer sillas a la playa o de tumbarte al sol en la arena?
I assume we haven't gotten the same
Ahora
question.
que ya llegamos a la playa,
Now that we've already gotten to the beach, gotten to the beach.
te quiero contar de mis planes de verano.
Te quiero contar. To you, I want to tell. Oh, and this is an indirect object, but it's still an object. You're on the receiving end, yeah? I assume we haven't gotten your question yet here, Sam?
Mm-mm.
Not
No.
yet? Okay.
Este verano me hace mucha ilusión
It makes me very excited. Okay.
aprender a patinar en patines.
Oh, here's her project. Her little thing she wants to do for this summer is learning how to skate. Okay. Roller skate. Lots and lots of people roller skate on the beach side, along the boardwalks. Well, they're kind of boardwalks, along the sidewalks in Barcelona on the beach. That's a thing.
Hay un grupo en Barcelona que se reúne a patinar por el camino que va por la playa. Es muy lindo y quiero aprender con ellos.
And notice, I want to point out one little thing here. Es muy lindo. Is very nice. Lindo means beautiful, nice, cute. Lindo is like bonito, all right? It's just a synonym. But notice in English, we have to put the it word in there. Sometimes the word it does not appear in Spanish. And this is when the word it does not get translated at all. Es muy lindo. It's very nice. There is no it word in that Spanish part of the sentence. Es muy lindo is very nice. But in English, we need the word it. And in Spanish, when we're using it as the subject of a sentence, we don't even translate the word it. It just becomes the verb es. That's all. There is no it word there.
También yo nadaba de chiquita y hace
And the nadada is just past. I used to swim,
mucho no nado en el mar.
and I haven't been swimming for a long
Hace
time.
como 4 años no nado en el mar y este verano me lo quiero pasar sumergida en el Mediterráneo.
We get another low.
También mi objetivo es poder leer mucho porque voy a tener bastante tiempo libre. Mi objetivo es poder terminar 3 libros, espero. Yo sé que es una meta alta, pero es tan rico tumbarte en el sol y solo leer que ya quiero poder hacerlo.
And there the law got attached because we have a 2-verb combo. Well, actually a 3-verb combo.
Three,
Quiero
yeah.
poder hacerlo. Ya quiero poder hacerlo. I already want to be able to I want to be able to do it. And because I have so many verbs connected there, it's common in that case not to put it in front of the verb, but to tag it onto the end of one of the infinitives. It has to be the one that's at the very end.
Por último, Barcelona y Cataluña tienen tantas playas cerca que quiero hacer una lista e ir chuleando todas las playas que voy visitando.
Oh, we haven't gotten to Sam's question yet.
¿Sabes que es muy divertido de ver en la playa?
Okay, I bet we might be. Oh, I hope we're coming up to it here.
That's fine.
Yeah. Do you know, sabes? Do you know?
Todos los deportes que las personas practican
All the sports that people practice, all the sports that people do.
con tanta habilidad en el agua. Por ejemplo, las playas de Barcelona tienen muy buen viento para hacer navegación a vela, surfing y también, si tienes suerte, puedes ver surf con remo. El calor está muy fuerte.
And notice here it's está, right? Because heat comes and goes, and the heat is really strong right now.
Yo ya no puedo más, necesito sombra y aquí nos estamos resguardando. Pero si te preguntabas, ¿qué es esto? Es la caseta del salvavidas. Fue una delicia venir a la playa con ustedes, pero antes de despedirnos, yo quiero preguntarles, ¿cuándo van a la playa? ¿Prefieren relajarse o estar muy activos haciendo todos los deportes? Los leemos en los comentarios. Y si quieren seguir aprendiendo.
Okay. Have we come to your question yet, Sam?
No.
Okay. Wow, is it still coming
Y
up?
si quieren seguir aprendiendo con videos de conversación corta, les dejamos una recomendación por aquí. Yo ya no me aguanto más el calor y me voy a echar un chapuzón. Sí, cambié de opinión. ¡Hasta la próxima!
She's coming to it.
I don't think I see where you had a question yet. Kind of interesting sign here. On the beach, we get along with each other with
They're
sports. So,
mutual.
in other words, people might be doing sports and they might be just laying on the beach. So let's all get along. I don't think I see your question yet, Sam. Must have been earlier.
You're on mute, Sam.
Did anybody see where he might have had that question or?
No, it's towards the end where she's going to sit down.
Okay. Yeah. Is Sam? Yeah, Sam, did you see did I pass through some?
I had you on mute. It had to be in the beginning before she got on the beach, when she
Okay.
was walking in the beginning. It must have been before the 2-minute mark.
Let's try one more time here.
Try one more time. Otherwise, we'll
Okay.
move on.
Es también una aventura misma. La gente viene en patines, caminando, en moto o en mi caso, en bici. Y la vista para llegar a la playa es
There or no?
No, keep going.
Tan linda porque tienes todo el mar. Para mí es muy curioso que muchas personas prefieren estar del lado del cemento de la playa. Como puedes ver, están sentados en bancas, en banquillos, tomando el sol y bronceándose. Pero para mí, lo más divertido es
And here's a lo with a description. Lo más divertido, the most fun thing. Lo más divertido, the most fun thing.
llegar, quitarme las sandalias y poner los pies en la arena. Para nadar en las playas de Barcelona debes tener en cuenta las condiciones del agua. Hoy tenemos bandera verde, eso quiere
Green flag.
decir que podemos nadar, pero yo no me quiero meter al agua.
And what you're saying there is I'm not going to get
Las
into
sanciones en la playa pueden ir hasta 600 euros. Seguro tú no quieres gastar todo ese dinero, entonces usa las papeleras.
Yeah, so no littering.
Ustedes pueden creer lo llena que está la playa.
Ah, lo llena. Ah, ustedes pueden creer. Can you guys believe it? Lo llena, how crowded it is. Lo combined with a description. And there the llena is talking about playa. That the beach is full. It's crowded. It's got a lot of people. And the llena is talking about being all full of people. See, lo llena que está en la playa. And it's lo llena, and the llena is talking about playa. How crowded, how full the beach is.
Para Juanjo y para mí está siendo casi imposible encontrar lugar.
Was that the question we had, Sam? Or no?
No.
Not
Hay
yet.
demasiada gente.
There's too many
Y el
people.
problema con esto es que tienes que cuidar aún más tus cosas. Mi consejo es que encuentres un lugarcito cerca de la orilla. Así, mientras nadas, puedes echarle un ojo a tus cosas.
And echar un ojo is throw
Oh,
it
here we
out.
are.
There it is, there
Here
it is.
we are.
Here it is.
There it
Ha
is.
sido tan difícil encontrar un buen lugar. It has been so hard or so difficult to find a good
Ha
spot.
sido tan difícil encontrar un buen lugar
Okay, so
Keep going.
keep going.
que Juanjo y yo nos vamos a hacer en estas
Right here.
asoleadoras.
Okay.
So here she's talking about the sun sitting down. And
Sunbeds.
she's using Esta.
Okay. And she calls these sunbeds asoleadoras.
Right.
That's
Yes,
kind of
Mientras la playa
es-
se desocupa un poquito.
mientras la playa se desocupa. Wow, the beach gets a little less busy.
Okay.
Ocupado means busy. Desocupado means less busy. Empties out. Did that?
Right.
Yeah.
Good, thank you.
That
Yep.
figured. Was the question desocupa?
It was not that one, it was the slide before.
In here?
Right here. Hasea and Esta. She's talking about the sun benches, right?
No,
Aren't
that's,
they?
that's
Ah.
these.
Hacer. Okay. Been hard
Un buen
trying to get
lugar
spot.
que Juanjo y yo nos vamos a hacer en estas asoleadoras mientras Juanjo y yo nos vamos a hacer
Yeah.
These benches, right?
Yeah. Vamos a, we're going to lie down, vamos a acostarnos, vamos a tumbarnos, and vamos a hacer, we're going to do, and they're just talking about laying down on the sunbeds. That's it.
Doesn't hacer mean like to do or to make?
It does mean to do or to make. Sí,
So
nos vamos a hacer.
how should I know that that means to lie down?
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
You know what? Just from context.
Oh,
there.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
just from context, nothing more, nada más. That's about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sí.
The phrase at the beginning of that same sentence, which was started with HA.
Yes.
I wouldn't
Okay.
have recognized that either.
That
That's new to me.
HA word, and I'll go back so that you can get a visual of
It's like,
what
yeah,
she's
like if
asking
then
about.
something.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is part of a verb phrase. This
That.
ha sido is
Ha
what she's
sido.
asking about,
Yeah.
folks. Ha sido. Sido comes from ser. Ha
Oh.
sido. It has been. The is the it has part, and sido is been. It has been. And it is like a talking about the past, that something that just happened. Okay, so the ha sido is what we call a present perfect construction. It means I need to have two parts to the verb phrase. Ha sido, it has been.
But isn't past tense for ser era?
Depends on what past tense you're talking about. Here's the nasty, yeah. Has been has two parts, and it has two parts in English as well, right? That's why they are called perfect tenses, and you need two parts. You need two verbs working together to have a perfect tense, right?
But
We
it
need-
doesn't use tener. It doesn't use tuve or
No,
something.
it is not that. So
Oh.
we say, I have been, I have seen, I have just called my contractor, right? She has just finished breakfast. Yeah. Has finished. The have or has part cannot be the verb tener in that case. Okay, tener means have when it actually talks about possession. Yeah. Tengo mi celular. Sí. Tengo una pila. I have a battery. Bien. Sí. Bien. Tengo mi taza de café.
Yeah, but past tense would be to stay, tuve, right?
Yeah,
Those tuvo,
but that's
those.
past, over
Like
and
I-
done with. Right.
Like I used to have
So-
my cell phone.
So to say, I have eaten breakfast, I need a different have, and the HA that she said, and you don't hear the H sound, right? You just hear the sound, The part is a different to have verb, right? And that different to have verb is haber, Haber, haber. And that have verb is what combines with a second verb to make it present perfect. Present perfect is a past, but it means it's kind of recent.
So what are the different forms then for past of haber? Like for I
Okay.
or you or he, she.
Okay. You know what? I will
Right?
need
That would
to
be-
do this, and it's okay. We'll do a quickie add-on.
I find that sometimes if there's a word I don't understand in the video, it's usually some form of a verb that's either past tense or past some kind of special tense like you're just talking about now that I have no idea that's what it was.
Okay. Let's do a little minute.
I don't know if
lesson.
others are like that.
Let's
like
do a
me,
mini
but
lesson
that's
on
me.
this. Past tense becomes kind of complex in Spanish because there are many, and actually English sometimes has similar ideas of past. Like we might say, I went, I have gone, I had gone, I used to go. All of those in Spanish are different kinds of past tenses. These are past ideas, and they may use different kinds of tenses. And this is where it gets a little bit sticky, but here's what happens. This idea of using present perfect. And by the way, you don't have to absolutely know all of these to understand Spanish, but it does come up. It comes up more in Peninsular, in Spain Spanish than in Mexico Spanish. Comes up more. So present perfect means we have to have a have or a has along with a second verb. And that second kind of verb is called a past participle. Oh, who cares? And, but what it means is that you need to have two verbs that work together. Okay, so here's what it becomes. Haber is that have or has part, okay? And you always have to have that. And that's the only part that gets conjugated in this kind of scenario. So if I have, it is e. If you have, it's as. If he or she has, it becomes a. Or okay, it might the a in this case, ha sido, it has been. It can also mean it has, right? So it has, he has, she has, it'll become a. Okay? As, you have. Okay? I have. For nosotros, we have. And again, these are not have as in possession. These are have, meaning it's a verb combo. Yeah, it's okay. They call it in grammar talk a compound tense. Compound means I need two parts to make up that verb phrase. To say we have, it becomes hemos. For the vosotros, which you don't really need to know in Latin America, it's habéis, but we don't need to worry about that. They have becomes an. Okay, so those are the forms you're going to hear. As, a, hemos, an. And we have to combine it with something else that is a participle. And here is the second half of this is something that will either be, it'll always end in either an ido for er and ir verbs, or it'll end in an ado in one of those two. And what you can think of it in its simplest form is I have done something. I have eaten. I have worked. I have seen. And in English, we have a lot of weirdo, these past participle things, right? And in Spanish, they're a little bit easier to predict. So ser, S-E-R, ser, to be, it becomes ha sido. It has been. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's take an other example. He desayunado. I have eaten breakfast. Yeah. The desayunado doesn't become a yo form or nosotros form. It's just desayunado. The haber part is what gets conjugated, but the second half is always going to be something that is either a verb ending in ado or a verb ending in ido, depending on if it comes from an AR verb, right? An AR verb will get an ado ending, an ER-IR verb will get an ido ending. There's some irregulars in this group too, right? These ado, ido things are called past participles. You don't care. You know that what matters to you is that it's an ado form or an ido form, and that will always be standard unchanging. The haber is what gets conjugated. Has, a, hemos, han. The reason you hear this more in Peninsular Spanish style Spanish is because they use this a lot to talk about anything that has happened within the course of today. Today. So let me show you an example of how that idea is different. Past ideas may use different tenses in Spain versus Latin America. Okay. So here's what happens. If you want to say, I have eaten. If I live in Spain and I want to say, somebody says, hey, what did you do this morning? Well, I ate it. Let's say it's noon and you want to say, I ate breakfast. He desayunado. And because I did that in the course of today, that's how you'll hear it in Spain. He desayunado. So in Spain, if it happened just today or in the last few hours, that's what they will tend to use. In Latin America, they won't use it that. They will take that one verb and they'll use a different kind of past tense, which becomes this for a yo form, desayuné. In Latin America, people will use this is called a preterite tense more, okay, for what happened today. It's just what they do. I wouldn't get too wrapped up in it, but whenever you hear this, it's somebody has done something. If they take that main verb and instead of having desayunado, a participle form, if they throw it into a different tense, right? The present tense is desayuno, ends in an o. But desayuné, punching that e at the end, means still, I did it, but I did it and it's over with. It's not happening now. It's done in the past. But Spaniards tend to use a different tense to talk just about today versus in Mexico or Latin America, Colombia.
Would they be able to figure that out if you said it in Latin America and
would you
said
be able to figure
desayuno?
it out? Yes. I mean, they
Desayunado?
understand each other. It's just a tendency for which type of conjugation they will choose to express that idea. So I ate, right? If I lived in Mexico and I want to say, I already ate. Ya, I already, the ya is the already part. Ya comí, I already ate. Comí, they'll use the plain old past tense. Comí, I ate, right? I'm not eating right now. I did it. And I'm not eating right now. Ya comí, I already ate. In Spain, they'll say, ya he comido, because it happened today. They tend to use that structure more. It's just something they do. So, ha sido, it has been. It has been. Ha sido difícil encontrar un espacio. It has been hard to find a spot, a space, un lugar. Yeah. I would say you don't need to concern yourself a lot with that past participle, with that present perfect for now. Yeah. But there it is. Okay. Vale. ¿Hay más preguntas? Any other questions or no?
Marilyn,
Sí.
I've noticed that when you talked about IT apostrophe S, and you said it's not often used in this language, and as I was reflecting on what you said, it occurred to me that the words did and does when you use questions seem to be the same thing. Now, maybe I haven't had enough Spanish,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
am I right on that?
You are right on that, Andre. Sí. Eres muy inteligente. You are a smart guy.
I don't know about
Yeah. In
that.
a lot of things, that's why we don't want to fall in this trap of translating word for word. Because if I want to say, do you know, for right now, do you know, right? That do, we need in English to signal, here comes a question.
Right.
Yeah. Do and does signals in English sometimes, not always, but sometimes a question. Yeah. It signals a question. And in Spanish, we don't need the word do or does to signal a question. So, do you know? We don't translate the do word at all. Sabes, sabes, do you know? It's just the verb for, it's just the tú, the you form for saber. Sabes, do you know? Yeah, right? Did you know just becomes the past. So English uses do and does with a question. Spanish doesn't need do or does to make a question. Unless it's what are you doing?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. But then we use the do, the hacer word, but some words just don't get translated. And that's okay. But the pattern in English is do or does for a question right now, right? Do you know? Do you have? Do you have? We don't translate the do word to say that in Spanish. We just say tienes, do you have? Tienes la entrada, do you have the ticket? Tienes la llave, do you have the key? Yeah. Tienes celular, do you have a cell phone? Yeah. Right? Do you have? And if it's past, it's just a did. But again, they won't use the did in Spanish.
Okay.
Eso es, yeah. That is it. Okay. Vale. Bien. Okay? Sí, sí. Okay. Vale. I want to do one little extra thing before we give you your next listening. And I want you to kind of think about these as you have listening videos. We're going to have a listening video where you're going to see a lot of reinforcing for that ser estar thing. She's going to do a lot of descriptions. So you're going to see a lot of reinforcement in the video. It's going to be kind of a walkthrough tour of a physical space. You'll see a lot of that, but these little words will come up again over and over. We're going to go back to this lo idea, but we're going to take it in a bigger context. Oops, perdón.
Marilyn,
Sí.
Marilyn, before we move on, can you take questions on the other video, Andrea's video?
Oh, yeah, I can take any. Sí. Sí. Dime, tell me.
Okay, so I had two questions. I think the first one's pretty easy, but I just wanted to check. At 12 minutes and 30 seconds, she used the word alberca, which I think would mean it means pool, it looks like. Is there any important difference between alberca and piscina?
Okay. And I think the one, yeah, okay, let me make sure I've got the right. The right video. This video here
Yes.
with Andrea, the Ser Estar video. Yeah. Alberca. What's the difference between alberca and piscina? There's no difference, but there are two different words used for the same thing. Alberca, alberca, and oh, let's see. This she might be using it here.
Es un hombre muy divertido, muy divertido.
She used it at 12 minutes and 30 seconds.
12:30.
El agua de la alberca.
El agua de la alberca. The water of the pool. Alberca. So everybody knows what you're asking about. El agua de la alberca. Alberca means pool. Alberca tends to be used more in Mexico for the word pool. A swimming pool, right? Piscina is used more in Spain. Is piscina used more with Colombia? No estoy segura. Cindy may be able to. If Cindy gets back on at some point, she would maybe have heard more people using piscina there. Piscina in other countries will be used for pool. Alberca is kind of favored in Mexico. Kind of the same reason, why do we call an elevator an elevator and the Brits call it a lift? Because they want to use a different word.
Yeah, like I said, I thought it would be an easy one, but here's a little more. This one I was just shaking my head. I mean, I understand what it says, but I'll tell you why I'm shaking my head. But if you could back up to 11 minutes and 15 seconds.
I sure can. And we're going to get a little context in here because we kind of have to. Oops. Perdón un momentito. Okay, it'll be coming up soon.
La fotografía es vieja.
The photo is old, and it's just a part of what that photo is. It's an old picture. Yeah, that's not a temporary, changeable thing. It's an old kind of photo, not a new one.
Vamos a ver ejemplos con ser.
Let's see some examples with
Esta
ser.
niña soy yo.
This
Then
girl?
Can you stop it right there?
Sure.
Okay, so esta niña, this girl, is is me. She's saying that's her as a little girl. And
Exactly.
here's where everybody feel free to laugh a little bit here at me, which is fine. Because
No.
and maybe I'm doing too much of the word by word translating, but I'm thinking this girl in that sentence, this is the subject, or this
Yes,
girl is
yes.
the subject. And so I would have put S rather than soy. And so I understand yo soy is the right conjugation for, I am. But do you see where I was just sort of looking at
Why isn't it esta niña es?
Yeah,
This girl
is there a
is.
word in English? It would be this girl is me.
Qué buena pregunta. Qué buena pregunta. Wow, what a good question. But yeah, anytime you say, okay, in English, technically, it is proper to say, it is I. Who's there? It is I. No one says that. Who do you know
No.
who says that? Knock at the door. They don't have the little like peephole. Who's there? It is I. No, we don't say that. You know what? Technically, that's correct, but that's not what we do, is it? So, everyone laughs because you don't hear it. You may read it in some novel somewhere, but nobody says it. It's just there because she's talking about herself. So yo, it's me. Yeah, and in English, what we really say, well, that's me. That's me.
Right.
Nobody says it is I. No one. No. Yeah. So yo, if I'm identifying myself, Marcos, which is what she's doing, it's got to be soy. Even though we've got that word esta niña, soy yo. Yeah, if you answer the door in Spanish and they can't see you through the little peephole, it is soy yo. Soy yo. It's me. Yeah, they do say it is I. Soy yo. Bien. And boy,
Okay.
yeah. And even then we can't say am I, can we? Am I, where am I? We do that, but yeah. It is I. Yeah. Yeah, it's because she's identifying herself. That's why she does that. Yeah. Eso es. Okay. Buena pregunta. Good questions. But just because she's talking about herself, that's why it's soy yo. Okay. Bien. Okay. Vale. And we want to use this so that you can kind of decipher as you hear more of these videos where they tell stories, you'll see more of these little words. So we want to kind of do a focus right now on some of these little words. We're expanding a little bit here from the lo idea, okay? And I'll send you this whole slide
Okay.
set later. So don't feel like you got to copy stuff off the screen. That's no es necesario. It is not necessary. But we do want to talk about when lo expands to take in a bigger category, right? We talked about lo que, lo que tengo, what I have, right? We talked about lo importante de la lección, the important thing about the lesson. And we talked about lo as meaning it. And now we're talking about lo, and we're expanding that it into a bigger category. There are other little words you may see in front of a verb. And these little words, when they are the word right in front of the verb, might become a bigger category of words. These are pronouns, all right? And I want you to notice something. Pronouns stand in for a noun. They take the place of a whole bigger noun. So, in other words, instead of hearing yo, you hear the word me. They are related words, right? But they serve a different function. Yo serves the function of telling I am doing something. Me serves the function of something is being done to me. Something is happening to me. Okay?
Yes.
Te is related to the word tú. Tú, you know as you. You, the human being. You, the thing that is you, right? You, the identity that is you, tú. But tú means you are doing something. It is the subject of a sentence. When we flip and change it to the word te, it means something is being done to you. Okay? Bien? And here is where lo comes in. And this is why we're saying lo expands to a bigger category of words. Lo will be the him or it, or it could fill in for usted as well, formal you. The feminine form will be of the lo will be la to mean her or it or you. So lo is not the same as el. El is he, okay, a human being who is doing something. This is lo when something is being done to a masculine thing or to a guy, right? Lo veo, I see him. La veo, I see her, right? Not ella, she is doing something. Ella is a subject. La is an object receiving the action, all right? And we got on the plural side, the plural of me would be nos, not nosotros. Nosotros is we. And when we use nosotros, we use it to say that we are doing something. It is the subject of the sentence. But when you hear, it sounds like we're cutting nosotros short. We are not. Well, kind of are, but it's not an abbreviation. That's what I mean. Nos. Nos is not the same as nosotros. Nos means something is being done to us or for us, right? This is the form, the plural form of te is os, but you only hear that one in Spain. People in Latin America don't use it at all. And here is the plural for what we call third person, or for the you guys concept, right? Lo in the plural sense is los. La in the plural sense is las. And it's not ellos, they, or ustedes, you guys. It's something's being done to them or to you guys, los. Same thing with las, right? So, bien. And these little words of me, te, lo, la, nos, and I'm going to skip the os because you only hear that one in Spain, los and las, they are what we call direct object pronouns, okay? And they come in front of the verb, not I see her. Her receives the action of seeing, right? It's the person you see. I see her. In Spanish, it becomes her I see. La veo. La veo, literally, the order of the words is her I see. Yeah. So it is when you hear these little words, and you will hear them in conversation all the time, these little words, mete, lo, la, lo, nos, los, and las, do not mean though they're standing in for a person or a thing, but they indicate that something is being done to that person or thing. Whatever the action of the verb is, it's being done to that person. And the funny thing is, we think in English in a very linear way because our pattern in English is subject, whoever's doing an action, verb, the thing that's being done, and then if the action has an object, the object who you're doing it to being afterwards. All right? Yeah. I grab it becomes in Spanish, it, I grab. And the word I won't even be used probably because it's all wrapped up in that verb. Yeah. And you don't have to worry about it. So let's hear how that goes, right? My friend calls me. Yeah. And here is the object. It happens after our verb. But in Spanish, it's going to come before our verb. Mi amigo me llama. Yeah. Mi amigo me llama. My friend calls me. If that becomes a command, meaning you're ordering somebody to do that action, then we tag on a pronoun at the end. I'm going to take that off because I don't want to confuse people. These pronouns may go in different places depending on the function of the verb. But if we're just talking about what is happening, it'll be in front of the verb. Mi amigo me llama. Mi amigo me llama. If my friend is calling her, mi amigo la llama. If my friend is calling him, a guy, mi amigo lo llama. If my friend is calling us, mi amigo nos llama, right? It won't be mi amigo llama nos. Mi amigo llama me. No, it's me llama, nos llama, la llama, right? Your spouse loves you. Tu esposo te ama. Tu esposo te ama. Not ama te. Te ama. Tu esposo te ama. Yeah? If you invite somebody, los vecinos nos invitan. The neighbors invite us. But in Spanish, it becomes the neighbors, us, they invite. That's the word order. That is the hump. And you may hear that in many, many different kinds of settings. So these are all situations where the me or the te or the nos is a human being, yeah? But sometimes a direct object is not a human being. Sometimes a direct object is a thing. Direct objects might be people, they might be things. Yeah, it depends on what that action of the verb is. All right. There is no confusion. Me is always talking about a person. Te is always talking about a person. Nos is always talking about a group of people. But when we get to the issue of the lo, the la, the los, the las, it could be a human being. It could be a thing, an object, right? Tomás ve a Carla. Ve a Carla. He sees Carla. But if I want to say he sees her, I'm going to take some things out here that we don't need right now. Tomás la ve. He sees her. He sees her. Okay. Bien. And then if he sees her, we kind of la ve. We kind of, if we see the picture, we know the context. But out of context, you would kind of need to know that she's Carla, or she's a woman, or she's a girl, you know, she's some kind of female person. Tomás ve a Carla. Tomás la ve could mean he sees her. It could also mean he sees it. If he sees the door, right? La could stand in for the door. La ve, he sees it. So you need to know a little bit of context, right? If we're talking about a bag that you get at the store, a paper bag, yeah? La bolsa, a bag. If you want to say, I have it, la tengo. It I have. La tengo. La stands in for that whole concept of la bolsa. Yeah? It's like a thing I like to say, you know, nobody walks in the doors and says, hi, honey, I'm home. I have it. Well, you don't know what it is because you have no context beforehand. Here with la tengo, I have it, we would need to know, you know, the context of la is standing in for la bolsa, right? So out of the blue, you might not know what la stands for, right? If I'm talking about plátanos, a masculine thing, if I want to say I buy them every week. Los compro cada semana. Los compro cada semana. I buy them every week. Los stands in for los plátanos. Them I buy. Los compro. Okay? Bien. Preparo espaguetis para Luis. I fix spaghetti for Louis. Aquí tenemos Luis. Here we have Luis, a little kid. Yeah? Luis. And so if I know the context of preparo espaguetis para Luis, I know we're talking about fixing spaghetti for him. We may follow up later and not say the word espaguetis again. Yeah, we substitute, we have as a stand-in the word los to talk about espaguetis. Él siempre los come. He always eats them. Because I don't want to say preparo espaguetis para Luis. Él siempre come los espaguetis, or él siempre come espaguetis. We don't want to keep repeating espaguetis, espaguetis. We have los as a stand-in to talk about espaguetis. Once we establish, here is the food item we're talking about, we let los stand in for that longer word. Él siempre los come. He always eats them. Okay? So the reason we need those little words, me, te, nos, to talk about only people, and then lo, la, los, or las, is to use them as a stand-in. So from now on, when you hear them using a lo word or a la word in front of a verb, that lo or la thing is a human being or a thing that's receiving the action. Okay? Bien? So if the action is cocinar, cook, yeah? we're obviously not cooking a person, right? Lo cocino is I cook it. If it's a masculine thing, it's la cocino. If I cook it, it's a feminine thing, right? So the word order becomes kind of weird. So if you hear the lo or las, often that is the function it's going to have in these videos as we move on. ¿Entienden? Make sense?
Yeah.
¿Sí? ¿Bien?
Sí.
Okay. Vale. Bien. We are going to have it's only about a 12-minute video. A good description video. In this next video, she's going to do the walkthrough. This is going to be your listening for the coming week. I want you to listen for, and it's the only thing I'm going to give you, I want you to be conscious of how you hear the use of ser and estar. Is she talking about where a thing is located? To use estar. Is she talking about a changeable state that thing is in? To use estar. Is she identifying what it is? In which case, she'll use a form of ser. So I want you to be conscious of ser and estar. And I want you to listen for any other of those little me, te, nos, or lo words as she does this little walkthrough description of this physical space, a place where she's staying. Okay? Todo bien? All good? You can turn on, it will not have automatic
You can turn on
subtitles like the other ones from last week.
Right.
You'll need to turn on the subtitles if you want to do that. And don't feel like, oh, it's too much of a crutch. Yeah, if you need, I would say, listen to this video the first time with the subtitles on.
Right.
Yeah, and then try to listen the second time, come back, and see if you can turn off the subtitles.
Okay.
Yeah, see, bien?
Yeah.
Listen to it twice. See if you can turn off the subtitles the second time and get more of the rolling feel for what she is talking about. And here you may need to come up with questions because you don't have an automatic translation on with it. ¿Está bien?
Okay.
We good?
Yeah.
Excelente, excelente, excelente. Muy bien, muy bien. Okay. Eso es todo para hoy. That is it for today. Muchísimas gracias.
Marilyn, do we have enough attendees for the fall semesters?
Not yet. I think we have 3.
I signed up today.
Oh, gracias. Gracias. Sí, yeah. We need to get up to 8.
Okay.
Gracias. Gracias, Tim. We need to get up to 8. And next week is our last session for summer, August. Hoy es el 10 de agosto. Today is 10th of August. Sí. Bien. 17th is our last class for summer session because I think after that we get into that whole Labor Day weekend kind of thing. And they assume people are going to be gone. So, ¿todo bien? All good?
Yes. Sí.
Excelente. Muchísimas gracias.